All right, everybody, welcome to the video here for lesson number 1 of Unit 5. So we're finally here out of that trig unit. I know for some of you that was a struggle, so here we have something completely brand new and different. So hopefully we can kind of start fresh. So let's take a look at the first example. So for the first example, it says write without negative exponents. So the first thing I want to do is distribute the exponent in. So I have 2 to the negative 2, a to the negative 6. Remember, exponents raised to exponents are multiplied. Since both of those are negative, I'm going to put both of them in the denominator. So I get 1 over 4a to the 6th. For the next one, the first thing I want to do is evaluate this piece here. So I have 36, a to the 4th, b to the negative 3 divided by 6 to the 2nd, which is 36, a to the 6th, b to the negative 8. And if I go through and do some simplifying, the 36 is canceled, so that becomes 1. I have subtraction, so 4 minus 6 is a to the negative 2. Negative 3 minus negative 8 becomes b to the 5th. Because I have a negative exponent, I'm going to rewrite that with a to the 2nd on the bottom. Number 3 just looks very overwhelming. So first things first, I want to evaluate this part. So I have 12 xy to the 4th, z to the negative 3rd, divided by 54, x to the negative 2, y to the 8th, 2 to the negative 2, and z to the negative 2. Now, I also don't really want this here. I want to put it up top because it's negative. So if I rewrite this, I have 12 times 2 squared. I put the 2 squared up top and made it positive. So nothing else is going to change yet because I want to try and evaluate what I have. So if I do 12 times 2 squared, or 12 times 4, that's 48. And if I do 48 divided by 54, I get 8/9. So I have 8 over 9. The x's, 1 minus negative 2 is x to the 3rd. Nice, positive. 4 minus 8, oh, negative number. And negative 3 minus negative 2 is negative 1. So then I can figure out what goes on top, what goes on bottom. So my final answer is going to be 8 x to the 3rd divided by 9 y to the 4th, z to the 1st. Explain why these two are congruent, but these two are not congruent or equal to each other. So we could say 2 to the 3rd power times 2 to the 4th power. The rules of exponents tell us that's 2 to the 3 plus 4. So that's 2 to the 7th equals 2 to the 7th. So by rules of exponents, that works. There is no rule for exponents for addition. So because it's not no rule of exponents, we'd have to actually evaluate. So 2 to the 3rd is 8. 2 to the 4th is 16. 2 to the 7th, well, that's going to be a bigger number because exponentially growth is going to make that go up really fast. Those two are not equal to each other, so we can explain that in words. Next one, similar to what we did in class, b to the 3rd power times b to the negative 4th power plus b to the double negative. You notice how that is a negative t, so it's b to the 4th divided by b to the 3rd. Well, when I multiply and add exponents, this becomes b to the negative 1, divide, subtract, so I have b to the 1st power. B to the negative 1 is 1 over b plus b. Make a common denominator, 1 over b plus b squared over b, and we get 1 plus b squared over b. Look at the last example on the first page of today's notes. For number 6, we're using the opening exercise to figure out when option B surpasses option A. So I'm going to keep plugging in 2 to a number until I figure out when it gets close to 2 million. That would take a lot of time. So instead, I'm going to graph y equals 2 to the x and look in the table. So if I look in my table of values for y equals 2 to the x, So I have starting at 0, I have $1, then $2. So you could see what's going on here. And if you keep scrolling down, between 17 and 18, it jumps from 1.3 or 1,300,000. Oh, never mind. Sorry. From 20 to 21. That's my bad. I was looking at 100,000s and not millions. So when I go from 20 to 21, I jump from 1 million to 2 million. So somewhere between the 20th and 21st day, I'm going to hit this $2 million mark. So notice day 1 is representative of 0. So this is really day 19. And this is really day 20. So day 19 would be too small. That would be 1 million. Day 21, that's when we finally surpass. So on the 21st day, the amounts would surpass for option B. Now, that only takes into consideration that single day. So if we start adding up, it'd probably be actually closer to like the 19th day. But we'd have to take into consideration the sum of all of the numbers up to there, which uses something that we haven't yet learned called a summation. So instead of going through and adding up all of this stuff, we could just say it's somewhere around this time period. And we'll start to see when we start graphing this, it'll be a lot easier to evaluate things like this. Last one, in terms of C, meaning I want C in my answer, not B. So I have A equals 2 times -1/2 C to the -2 all to the third power. So I have A equals 2 times -1/2 to the third times C to the -6. So my calculator, if I do 2 times -1/2 to the third power, I get -1/4. So I have A equals -1/4 times C to the -6, but I don't want that. So I'll say A equals -1/4 C to the 6th power. That would be the best possible answer. Other than that, that's basically your homework. So hopefully this video helped, and you're starting the new unit fresh by watching all these videos. Best of luck.